Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Talk Bridal to Me. I am here with Bre Sager, and she is an advanced registered nurse practitioner and owner and medical director of Sculpted Medical Spa here in Deer Park. Bre, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So you were a nurse practitioner for 9 years and then decided to open a medical spa. Tell me more about that.
Sure. So I've been a nurse practitioner for 9 years. Originally, I worked in breast cancer surgery. I did that for about 7 years. The last 2 of that, I kind of started to get into aesthetics. I was doing part-time at both. And then I realized my love and passion for aesthetics. So I left breast cancer surgery. I went full-time aesthetics. About a little over a year ago, I just realized that I wanted to break away and do my own thing and opened in Deer Park, and I couldn't be happier.
Yes. Well, you've trained under some really high up people in your job. And I know when I was just kind of like reading some of your information, you had a gal that said that you were the most competent and you were the top 3 of, let's see, what did I say? You were in the top 3 of another nationwide top 20 trainer, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And we get to have you here.
Well, thank you.
Awesome. What was the initial, was it just something that kind of fell into your lap with aesthetics, or did you have somebody approach you about doing this, or how did that even come about?
I was so lucky. It's such a hard field to break into.
Yes.
Some people can try forever and not break into it. It completely fell into my lap. A friend of a friend was looking to hire someone, actually here in Spokane, looking for a medical director and injector. And I interviewed. She wanted to hire me, and she told me to go out to Hayden Lake and take this training course. That's the person who was, I guess, really impressed by me. So she kind of stole me away from Spokane. She actually offered me an internship, which I didn't realize getting into this field how complex it is. It's only a 2-day training course to get up and running, which is crazy.
Wow.
So she's retired now, but she was one of Allergan's top trainers. She's the pioneer of the industry. She's trained almost every single injector in the area. She's incredible. So it was a really incredible opportunity. I ended up training with her for 9 months before starting to inject on my own. Had to drive an hour each way to get there, but it was incredibly valuable. And she's been a huge mentor for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Tell us a little bit, because sometimes I get a little bit confused when it comes to aesthetics.
Sure.
What's the difference between an esthetician and someone in your field?
So totally different. Both equally valuable, but completely different roles. So I am a family practice nurse practitioner. A lot of people don't know what a nurse practitioner is. Different method of getting there, but basically there's nothing a doctor can do that I can't do. I see patients, I prescribe, I diagnose. So an esthetician cannot own their own medical spa. So I can own my own medical spa. I can be my own medical director. Very different routes for school. Basically, I would say that, and in state to state, it very much differs in what an esthetician can do and even what a nurse practitioner can do. But in Washington, I can do anything. I can inject. I would say I'm more medical, kind of facial structure, facial anatomy. Estheticians are very knowledgeable about skin care, skin health. Their appointments tend to be nice and relaxing, and mine aren't always. So I'm more kind of deeper structure, and they're kind of more surface level.
Okay. Yeah. So you would do more under the skin, and an esthetician would be more on the surface.
Sure. And I still treat, superficial surface stuff.
Absolutely.
It's just an esthetician, they can't inject unless they have a medical director. They can't do microneedling, deeper peels, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what kinds of services you offer.
So I offer neurotoxins, which Botox is the most well-known, but I offer Botox and Dysport. I offer dermal fillers. which replace volume loss. I have a treatment called Sculptra. It's a biostimulator, so it stimulates collagen production. I do microneedling, again, a collagen stimulator, chemical peels. I have a machine called a Diamond Glow. It's a facial, and it's a form of microdermabrasion, so deep exfoliation, extraction. And I have a couple lines of medical grade skincare. And in the fall, we're just getting ready to buy a laser. I'm really excited. So it's actually a dual hand piece. One is laser energy and one is light energy. But both machines will work on pigment, texture, permanent hair reduction. So very exciting.
That is fun. Yeah. Do you find that you just like see all these new like tools in your trade and you're like, ooh, I want that.
Yes, but I'm very cautious. I kind of let other people try things out and then see how they go. That is one thing I will say. I will never bring on something that I do not truly believe will work for people, and I would never recommend a product or service that I didn't truly think would work. So I'm not one to jump on things until I see proven results.
Absolutely. And that's smart.
But yes, there's a lot in this industry, and it's very complex, and there's a lot that works and a lot that doesn't work. And as a consumer, people don't know. So they need to come to us for the advice.
Absolutely. Well, and I feel like I've seen advertisements, and as someone in the industry, you obviously have that inside scoop of, okay, this is what works. This isn't. But as a person coming from my own perspective, I'll see this person advertise this thing and this, and it's like, what is the real thing? Like, what is actually going to work?
Right.
And so it's so nice to have somebody in the industry where I can say, is this legit?
Right.
And is this actually going to do what I think it should?
Because lots of times it doesn't.
Yes, exactly. So tell me a little bit about the process during initial client consult with you.
Sure. So that kind of varies depending on the person. Sometimes people come in as a new client and they're like, I want Botox. I've been getting Botox for years. These are the areas I treat. That's what I want. So we treat with Botox. They're not really interested in hearing about other products or services.
Yeah.
Lots of times people come in, they've never had anything done, and they have no idea. They don't know what the treatments are, what the best recommendation would be. So we kind of go over their main concerns that they want to address. And then generally I'll just kind of briefly touch on everything I offer, kind of what the service is, how many treatments are required, what the, downtime is, and what the results will be. Can be overwhelming. It's a lot of information, but then we kind of come up with a plan together depending on their budget, aesthetic needs.
Yeah.
And there's a huge range that I can treat. If somebody has a smaller budget, we absolutely can find things to work and make them happy.
Yes. I feel like I need to come in and just be like, what do I need? Tell me all the things.
Everyone says this. I want this. Just lift it.
Yes. Well, and I don't know if I had $1 for every time someone came in my chair and was like, can you eliminate these wrinkles? And I'm like, no, I don't.
I'll go see my friend.
Exactly. I'm like, that was 9 months ago. like we need to rewind time.
Yep.
And go back and start a different regimen.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It's so interesting, all the things that can be done.
Yeah.
And I think a huge part is education and letting people know, like, hey, you can change those things.
Right.
And I'll preface by saying you don't have to.
Right.
I don't want a woman to ever feel like, oh,
absolutely.
I feel like I should be doing these things to my face. It's only if you want to.
Right.
But I definitely am a huge advocate for skincare and skin health.
Huge.
Whether you're going to get Botox or filler, like, you don't have to if you don't want to.
Right.
But at least you want healthy skin.
I tell everyone that, if I only had one service I could use of myself, it would be facials and good skincare.
Yes.
And I always say, if you picture the most beautiful people, they have beautiful skin. They might have lines. They might have volume loss. But beautiful skin, I think, is the most important thing in feeling good and just feeling your best.
Yes. Are there other things that you educate clients on when it comes to beautiful skin? Like I feel like people will often sit in my chair and be like, oh, I need to drink more water.
Yeah.
I need to do X, Y, Z. Are there certain lifestyle choices that you feel are pertinent in helping someone's skin be healthy?
Absolutely. I mean, just generally living a healthy lifestyle. Of course, being dehydrated is going to dehydrate your skin. Excess alcohol or smoking is going to wear heavily on your skin. Diet will contribute. Sleep, stress. Not all of those things are avoidable, but just, working out regularly, eating healthy for the most part, drinking lots of water, getting lots of rest, just in general.
Absolutely. Well, and I know this isn't on like my list of questions, but now my brain is going down this rabbit trail. Tell me a little bit about sunscreen because I feel like that's been stressed. Like, is there one type that's better than the other, or is it just like you need to wear it no matter what kind it is?
So yes, there are some that are better than others. It's funny. My husband read something to me the other day. He saw on Facebook. It said, "Sunscreen in your 20s avoids the need for lasers in your 50s."
Yes,
which was great. Sunscreen is so incredibly important. And I think people are beginning to realize that, but a lot of people still are oblivious. I have people tell me all the time, I only wear makeup if I go out in the sun, or sunscreen.
Yes.
I didn't put sunscreen on today because I wasn't going to be outside. But people don't realize we're exposed to the sun rays all the time, windows and driving. So it's very important to put on. It's very important to have a good quality sunscreen. People will tell me all the time that there is sunscreen in their facial lotion or in their makeup. And that's just not enough. I don't care what makeup product it is. I don't care, what moisturizer it is. It's not going to be enough. It's not going to be strong enough. People also don't realize that sunscreen needs to be applied throughout the day, especially if you're going to be outside, especially if you're going to be in the water. So that's something I always talk to people about. I have several sunscreens that I carry. I love, love, love them. A few of them are tinted. They can absolutely replace a foundation, concealer. People wear makeup to cover their flaws, which generally blocks our pores and causes more flaws.
Yes.
And the sunscreens are actually good for your skin. They're hydrating. They have peptides and minerals in them. They're actually going to improve the health of your skin and protect it from the sun. I have non-tinted sunscreens also. I have some that are in like a lotion form, some that are in a compact form. Those are nice because you can just kind of gently touch up throughout the day. You just kind of press it on, but very, very, very important.
Yes. Well, and I was one of those people that was exactly the same as a lot of your clients where I'm like, I'm not going to be outside. And I was educated in the not too distant past that the rays can come through the window and it's not just direct sunlight that can affect you.
Right. It's all around us.
It is. And I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And the tinted sunscreens, I love so much. Actually, my number one selling product is a tinted sunscreen. Everybody's obsessed with it. I put it on them and they love it.
Yes.
I haven't probably worn makeup in over 2 years. I just put that on.
Yep.
I love it. There's kind of varying levels of coverage depending on which product you get. And by the end of the day, before I couldn't wait to go home and wash my face.
Yeah.
And now I don't feel like that. My skin feels healthy. It feels hydrated and, among other products I use. But I do love the tinted sunscreens.
Yes. I have a tinted sunscreen on today.
Nice.
I love it.
Me too.
And I just don't really wear like a foundation anymore because I just find that that's so much better.
Yeah, you can breathe.
Yes, my skin feels so much just like, relaxed and it feels good. And I don't feel like all gross by the end of the day. Yes. And talk a little bit about, because I know there's like the zinc oxide sunscreen and there's some that I feel like I have been pushed into maybe being afraid, where the ones that are like the clear, like it starts with an oxo something, and the ones that don't necessarily leave the white cast, are some better for your skin than others? Or I feel like some are like, oh, these are carcinogens. Like, what are the ingredients that are better?
Just healthy ingredients. I would say going to a consult and, learning about the different various sunscreens. Pretty much anything that's prescription grade is going to be good for your skin. Lots that you get over the counter is not so great.
Okay.
As long as you're not putting body sunscreen on your face, then you're probably pretty
Yes.
good. But just any prescription grade is going to be the best for you.
Okay.
If you picture like a prescription medication versus an over-the-counter medication, the prescription's going to work so much better. And the same goes with skincare and sunscreen.
Okay. So if someone were to get a prescription grade type of product, is that something that they would get through you or another person that's in your field? Or
They can
how
get
would
it
somebody
through
get
me.
that?
They can get it at any med spa in town has them. Some you can order online directly through their website. But yeah, any medical spa is going to have good sunscreen.
This is so good. I feel like I could just ask you all these questions. Be like, so is this an okay ingredient? I feel like there's so much information out there, whether it's true or false, and you don't really know.
And that's where the consult is so important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And consults are free. There's, you don't have to purchase anything. You don't have to end up getting treatment. If someone comes in and has the consult and they're like, okay, this is not for me, that's okay.
Then that's great.
Yep.
Okay. Let's break down a little bit of a rough timeline of procedures that might be good for somebody.
Sure.
I would love to be able to say, okay, about a year out, we could do this. About 9 months out, we could do this. Obviously, these are things that people don't have to do. But if someone is interested, what are some things that, say a bride is getting married a year from now, that she can start doing now for her skin?
So, of course, it depends on needs.
Absolutely.
And budget and aesthetic desire. I think that when you're looking at things that go in a series, you're going to want to start that further out. So, for example, the laser and the light energy devices. You're going to want to start those further out. Generally, you get a treatment depending about every 1 to 2 months.
Okay.
And generally you need 3 to 4 treatments. So you're looking at maybe 6-ish months out starting that. The microneedling comes in a series. You kind of want to tighten your skin. So that's something you want to start further out. Of course, if you're wanting to start doing fillers and Botox, you want to start those. I mean, you want to start it further out because each time you get treatment, you'll get a little bit better results.
Yeah.
But even if you're just getting one treatment of those prior to your wedding, I would say at least a month before, just in case there's any bruising or anything that needs tweaked or touched up. Generally, I tell people not to get anything for at least a month before, plan it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Aside from facials and skincare. The Diamond Glow facial, the type of microdermabrasion is amazing to get, a week or a few days prior to the wedding. It's just going to leave your skin beautiful and glowing and exfoliated. That's where you come in. The makeup will lay nicer, look better. They complement each other very well. The chemical peels, those come in a series, so you want to start those a little bit earlier.
That all makes sense. When you sit down with a client, do you kind of address certain parts of the face and say we could do this for this part, this for this part, or do you kind of look at it as a whole, or is it kind of a combination of the things?
Definitely looking at it as a whole. A lot of times people will come in and say, for instance, I hate my jowling. I want filler right here because I hate my jowling. What they don't realize is we lose volume in our mid-face, which then causes everything to fall, which causes those gels. So what they really need is a little lift in their cheeks.
Oh.
So it just kind of depends what they're looking for.
Yeah. So they can come in saying, I want this fixed right here, but not realize that they might need a treatment somewhere else.
Yeah. So it's all about facial balancing.
Yeah.
Sometimes people come in and say, I want a facial, and sure, we do a facial. That's great. But generally, I give them a mirror and say, what are your concerns? What do you want to address? And then we talk about all the ways that we can correct that.
Absolutely. Well, and I know that we were talking a little bit before we officially started about dermaplaning and the importance of that. And you mentioned that was a good thing to do kind of a week before the wedding. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay.
So dermaplaning, it's interesting because dermaplane tools have suddenly become popular to the general
Yes,
public.
they have.
And I have people come in all the time. Oh, I do my own dermaplanes.
Yeah.
Which is great. There is nothing wrong with that. Basically, the dermaplane tools that people can get, the blades aren't very sharp.
Mm-mm.
Mine are actually surgical blades. They're very sharp. They basically all people are doing at home with those blades is just shaving their face.
Yes.
And people don't realize that's not really the goal of a dermaplane. The goal of a dermaplane is exfoliation.
Mm-hmm.
So my blade is sharper. It's actually going to pick up some of the dead skin cells.
Yeah.
Bonus is we remove those little baby hairs. I do a little mini enzyme peel that lifts up more dead skin cells after the dermaplane. And so it's just very, very exfoliating, whereas the regular or the at-home dermaplanes are really just taking a razor to your face.
Right.
And having a professional or, someone else do it to you, you get so much better results. Even when I dermaplane myself, I can't do as good of a dermaplane to myself as another person could do to me. So there is a big difference.
There is. Well, I've seen the before and after photos of people who have gotten them, and I'm always like, what?
They're
like
just glowing.
Their skin is glowing and healthy, and it's just, there's this new vibrancy. And I always tell people, I'm like, you're going to have these photos from your wedding for the rest of your life.
Yes.
And I don't want them to look back on their photos in 5-10 years from now, or even after they get them and go, man, I wish I would have.
The ultimate thing I would recommend for a bride, obviously there's a huge range of things they can do, but the Diamond Glow facial would be amazing about a week before. We call it a diamond glow. Literally, you can tell when someone's had a diamond glow because their skin is just glowing when they leave. Man. I love to combine the dermaplane with the diamond glow. So we exfoliate with the scalpel, exfoliate with the peel, and then use the machine to exfoliate. So you're just getting triple exfoliation, manual, chemical, mechanical, and then you're extracting pores, reinfusing your pores with a hydrating serum. Your skin is just so smooth. I always tell people you're going to go wash your face tonight and not even believe that this is your skin because it feels radically different in one treatment.
Yes.
And then, like I said, your products will lay nicer, your makeup will lay nicer. You'll have an easier canvas to work with. Yes.
One, I always want clients to be happy. And I feel like I can see from a perspective, and I'm sure you can, and see the potential.
Right.
And go, gosh, I wish XYZ.
Right.
And not that people have to do it, but I think there's such a difference in how someone's face looks.
Yeah.
And it's funny when you're pregnant, because people say, oh, you have that pregnancy glow. And I'm like, well, let's keep the glow. Like let's keep that going year round. Like, why not? And it's just so good for your skin.
Yes. So good.
Yes. How can a client book a consult with you?
So I have a really cool online booking tool. It's very easy. My website's sculptedmedicalspa.com. You can go on, book yourself. There's lots of ways that people can contact me. People call, text, Facebook message, Instagram message, email. I have a chat bot on my website.
Oh my goodness.
So there's lots of different ways people can reach out to me. People can schedule on their own. If they're not sure what they want, they can call or message me.
Yeah.
But really, really easy. Really cool that they can book on their own.
I love this. Well, this was so good. Bre, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. This is fun.